Imagine driving for hours without seeing another soul, surrounded by landscapes so wild they feel like another planet. Have you ever wondered what lies beyond the crowded national parks? Join us as we uncover America's most remote scenic drives, where untouched beauty and solitude await, promising an escape you never knew you needed. Every year, millions of travelers flock to the same iconic destinations: Yellowstone, the Grand Canyon, Yosemite. But beyond the visitor centers and crowded overlooks, a different America exists, one where roads stretch for hundreds of miles without a single gas station, where you might drive all day and count passing vehicles on one hand, where the landscape feels so untouched, so primal, it awakens something deep within us. Researchers studying tourism patterns discovered something remarkable. The most transformative travel experiences don't happen at famous landmarks. They happen in the spaces between them, on roads where cell service disappears, where self-reliance becomes essential, where silence becomes so profound you can hear your own heartbeat. These aren't just scenic drives. They're journeys into America's last wild places, roads that test your courage and reward it with views that stop your breath, routes where you might encounter a grizzly bear before another human, highways that literally disappear under lava flows and landslides, reminding us that nature, not mankind, rules here. Today we're taking you beyond the tourist trail, from Alaska's Arctic to Death Valley's scorching heart, from alpine passes open only weeks per year to desert tracks where survival skills aren't optional. Our journey begins in the stark heart of the American West, where a road so isolated that even its name has become legend, a place where loneliness isn't just a feeling, it's a measurable fact. In 1986, Life magazine declared Nevada's Highway 50 as the loneliest road in America. The state tourism board, rather than feeling insulted, embraced it. They created a survival guide for travelers brave enough to attempt the crossing. The joke became legendary. But what travelers discovered wasn't a joke at all. Highway 50 stretches 287 miles across Nevada's basin and range country. Between the towns of Fallon and Ely, you'll find exactly 3 places to fuel up. Miss one, and you're in serious trouble. The landscape rolls in hypnotic waves, mountain ranges rising and falling like frozen ocean swells. Sagebrush stretches to every horizon. Psychologists studying long-distance driving report something unexpected happens on roads this empty. After the first hour of solitude, anxiety often rises. By the third hour, something shifts. Travelers describe entering a meditative state. The endless rhythm of road and mountain becomes almost hypnotic. Time loses meaning. But Highway 50 guards secrets beyond solitude. Sand Mountain, a 600-foot singing dune where avalanching sand creates mysterious humming. Cave Lake, an alpine oasis hidden at 7,300 feet. Petroglyphs carved by hands that vanished 5,000 years before America existed. Local ranchers reveal the real test isn't the distance, it's the weather. Summer temperatures hit 110 degrees. Winter blizzards close the road entirely. Spring winds gust to 60 miles per hour, sandblasting paint from passing vehicles. Travelers who complete the crossing receive an official Highway 50 Survival Guide certificate. It's become a badge of honor. Proof you've experienced something rare in modern America. True, profound, uninterrupted solitude. But this isn't even America's most isolated drive. Not by half, beyond Nevada's desert, a road stretches through territory so remote, so unforgiving, that even Highway 50 seems crowded by comparison. The Dalton Highway wasn't built for tourists. It was constructed in 1974 for one purpose: servicing the Trans-Alaska Pipeline. Truckers call it the Haul Road. Most Americans call it the most dangerous road in the nation. "414 miles of mostly gravel stretch from Fairbanks to Deadhorse on the Arctic Ocean. For 240 miles, there's no fuel, no food, no services. The road crosses the Yukon River, climbs through the Brooks Range, and descends into tundra where the sun disappears for months." Wildlife biologists working along the Dalton note extraordinary encounters: grizzly bears crossing the road without concern for vehicles, massive caribou herds, thousands strong, flowing across the highway like rivers, wolves, Arctic foxes, musk oxen. This isn't a drive through wildlife habitat. It's a drive through wilderness where humans are visitors, not residents. The conditions define extreme. Summer brings 24-hour daylight and mosquitoes so thick they form clouds. Winter delivers temperatures to 60 below zero, where exposed skin freezes in minutes. Truck drivers report whiteouts so complete the road vanishes. Windshields crack from flying rocks. Tires shred on sharp gravel. Experienced travelers prepare like Arctic expeditions: extra fuel, survival gear, emergency food, satellite communication devices. Cell service is a distant memory. If something goes wrong, you might wait hours, even days, for help. But those who survive the Dalton describe something transcendent: the aurora borealis, dancing across the entire sky, the Brooks Range rising like cathedral spires. The moment when you cross the Arctic Circle and realize you've entered a realm where nature's rules govern absolutely. But if Alaska represents the frontier of ice and tundra, the American Southwest offers something entirely different: a journey not through wilderness, but through time itself. In the heart of Utah's canyon country, where Grand Staircase Escalante National Monument meets Capitol Reef, a road climbs through geological time itself. The Burr Trail doesn't just cross the landscape, it cuts through the very history of Earth. The transformation happens suddenly. To one moment you're driving smooth pavement through Long Canyon, its red walls rising 800 feet overhead. The next, the road launches upward in a series of switchbacks so steep, so exposed, photographers report their cameras can't capture the full drama. The grade hits 10%. The drop beside your tires, straight down hundreds of feet to the canyon floor below. Geologists use the Burr Trail as a living textbook. Each switchback ascends through distinct geological epochs: the red Kayenta Formation, the white Navajo Sandstone, ancient petrified dunes from a Jurassic desert, the Carmel Formation, deposited when shallow seas covered Utah 175 million years ago. You're literally driving through time. At the top, the pavement ends. The road becomes primitive, technical, requiring high clearance and nerve, but it unlocks access to wonders few travelers ever see. Strike Valley Overlook, where the entire water pocket fold unfolds like a crumpled carpet. Hidden slot canyons, where sandstone glows orange and pink. Cryptobiotic soil crusts, living communities that took 250 years to form. Local guides reveal the Burr Trail's secret. It transforms travelers. The combination of exposure, beauty, and geological grandeur creates a psychological shift. You realize how brief human existence is, how ancient and patient Earth remains. But Hawaii conceals an even stranger road, one where volcanic fire meets the sea, where the Earth itself is still being born. On Hawaii's Big Island, a road does something no other American highway can claim. It drives across the youngest land on Earth, land that didn't exist when your parents were born, land created yesterday, last week, last month. Chain of Craters Road descends 3,700 feet in 19 miles from Kilauea's summit to the Pacific Ocean. The journey crosses lava flows from 1969, 1974, 2003, and dozens of other eruptions. The pavement literally ends where a 2003 flow buried it under 50 feet of molten rock. Rangers update closure signs regularly. The road is still being destroyed, still being rebuilt, caught in an eternal battle with Earth's creative fury. Volcanologists studying Kilauea discovered something remarkable about this road. It's one of the few places on Earth where people can safely witness planetary formation. The processes that built continents, that created Hawaii itself, are happening here in real time. Travelers report an almost supernatural feeling driving this route. The landscape looks alien, otherworldly. Black lava fields stretch for miles, frozen waves of stone. Steam vents hiss from cracks in the earth. Ancient petroglyphs carved into older flows appear like messages from previous worlds. At road's end, the Pacific crashes against cliffs of fresh volcanic rock. Some days, if Kilauea is active, you can watch lava pour into the sea, creating new land in explosive clouds of steam. The ocean boils. Islands are born. But the chain of craters teaches something profound. Permanence is illusion. The road you drive today might be buried tomorrow. The land you stand on is temporary, a brief solid moment in Earth's liquid heart. From fire to ice, from creation to altitude, our next journey ventures where oxygen grows thin and reality shimmers. Between Red Lodge, Montana and Cook City near Yellowstone, a road achieves something extraordinary. For 68 miles, the Beartooth Highway climbs to 10,947 feet, crossing alpine tundra found nowhere else in America outside Alaska. Charles Kuralt called it the most beautiful drive in America. Those who've experienced it call it something else, terrifying. The statistics don't capture the reality. 20 switchbacks gain 5,000 feet in a few miles. Stone guard walls built in the 1930s are all that separate your tires from 1,000-foot drops. Snow closes the road 8 months per year, from October to late May. Even in July, snowfields linger beside the pavement. High-altitude researchers use the Beartooth as a living laboratory. Above 10,000 feet, the ecosystem mirrors Arctic conditions. Alpine forget-me-nots bloom among rocks. Pikas, tiny rabbit relatives, scurry between boulders. Mountain goats appear as white dots on impossible cliffs. The air holds 30% less oxygen than sea level. Experienced drivers share warnings. Start early. Weather changes in minutes. Morning sunshine becomes afternoon lightning storms. Winds gust strong enough to move vehicles. Afternoon thunderstorms turn roads slick and dangerous. Altitude sickness affects passengers. Brakes overheat on descents. But the Beartooth delivers moments of transcendence. The Beartooth Plateau, a vast alpine plain above treeline, feels like the roof of the world. Dozens of lakes shimmer between granite peaks. The Absaroka Beartooth Wilderness stretches beyond sight. On clear days, visibility exceeds 100 miles. Climate scientists predict the Beartooth's future is uncertain. Rising temperatures threaten year-round access. The brief 4-month window might shrink further. But elevation isn't the only challenge America's remote roads offer. Some test survival itself, where heat rather than cold becomes the enemy. The name Death Valley wasn't chosen for drama. It's accurate. This is North America's hottest, driest, lowest place, and cutting through its western edge, a road exists that rangers actively discourage travelers from attempting in summer. West Side Road runs 40 miles of washboard gravel from Highway 190 south past the Panamint Valley. The washboard surface shakes vehicles apart. Tires fail regularly. The road crosses areas where ground temperatures exceed 200 degrees Fahrenheit. Touch the sand bare-handed and you'll blister instantly. Death Valley holds the modern reliable record for hottest air temperature on Earth at 130 degrees Fahrenheit, recorded at Furnace Creek in July 2021. Modern weather stations regularly document ground-level readings above 190 degrees. Your car's cooling system fights a battle it might lose. Water consumption becomes critical. Park rangers calculate you need 1 gallon per person per hour just to survive. But travelers who attempt West Side Road during the survivable months of December through March discover profound beauty. The road passes ancient lake beds from a time when Death Valley held water 600 feet deep. Salt formations create alien landscapes. Ubehebe Crater, a volcanic explosion crater 600 feet deep, reveals raw geology. Desert ecologists document remarkable life here. Pupfish surviving in springs where water reaches 112 degrees. Desert bighorn sheep navigating cliffs. Kangaroo rats that never drink water, producing it metabolically from seeds. The solitude on West Side Road reaches almost existential levels. You might drive all day without seeing another vehicle. Cell service is fantasy. If your vehicle breaks down, walking out could be fatal. The nearest help might be 50 miles away. Yet Death Valley teaches something essential. Humans are fragile. Nature is not. If Death Valley tests physical survival, our next road tests something deeper, the will to continue when wilderness stretches endlessly in every direction. Most of America's remote roads are accessible to anyone brave or foolish enough to try. Denali Park Road is different. Access is restricted, controlled, rationed like a precious resource, because the wilderness it penetrates is so pristine, so vulnerable, that unlimited traffic would destroy what makes it special. From the park entrance, only the first 15 miles are paved and open to private vehicles. Beyond Savage River, the road becomes gravel and shuttle bus only. It continues 77 more miles to Kantishna, dead-ending in wilderness. No towns, no services, no development, just road, tundra, mountains, and wildlife. Wildlife biologists consider this road a miracle of conservation. Because vehicle numbers are limited, animals treat the road as just another part of their territory. Grizzly bears wander across it. Caribou herds cross without concern. Wolves trot along the shoulder. Dull sheep dot nearby ridges. The lottery system for private vehicle permits is notoriously difficult. Thousands apply, hundreds win. Those who drive it describe an experience unlike anything else in America. You're genuinely penetrating wilderness, not observing it from a distance. The tundra stretches limitless. Denali itself, North America's highest peak at 20,310 feet, dominates the southern horizon when clouds permit. The road's design is intentionally primitive. It follows the landscape rather than conquering it. Streams ford directly without bridges. Grades are steep. Turnouts are minimal. This isn't a highway. It's a thread of access through country that humans barely inhabit. Experienced travelers time their visits carefully. September offers fall colors transforming tundra into carpets of red and gold. Wildlife is active, preparing for winter, but weather is unpredictable. Snow can fall any month. The Denali Road teaches humility. You're not conquering wilderness, you're being granted temporary permission to witness it. From Alaska's vastness to the Southwest's brutal history, where roads carry not just vehicles but ghosts of those who died trying. Some roads earn their names through legend. El Camino del Diablo, the Road of the Devil, earned its name through death. For centuries, this 130-mile track across Arizona's Sonoran Desert claimed lives. It still does. The route follows ancient trails used by indigenous peoples, then conquistadors in the 1500s, then gold rush prospectors, then desperate migrants. Researchers documenting the trail found over 2,000 documented deaths along its length. Heat, thirst, desperation. The Sonoran Desert shows no mercy. Modern travel requires serious preparation. Four-wheel drive with high clearance is mandatory. The track crosses sand, rock washes that become rivers during rare rains. Bring multiple spare tires, navigation equipment, emergency communication. Most critically, bring twice the water you think you'll need. The nearest services are 60 miles away in any direction. But El Camino del Diablo reveals landscapes of stark beauty. The Cabeza Prieta National Wildlife Refuge protects 860,000 acres of pristine desert. Saguaro forests stand like sentinels. The pinnacate lava flows create black rock gardens. Mountain ranges rise abruptly from desert floors. Border Patrol agents monitor this route constantly. It's a major illegal crossing corridor. You might encounter green and white SUVs miles from anywhere. The collision of modern immigration politics with ancient geography creates an unsettling tension. Desert ecologists treasure this area. Sonoran pronghorns, among North America's rarest mammals, survive here. Desert bighorns navigate impossible cliffs. Gila monsters, venomous lizards, prowl during summer monsoons. El Camino del Diablo isn't romantic adventure, it's serious undertaking. People die here regularly. The desert doesn't care about your vehicle, your supplies, or your confidence. But not all remote roads carry such dark history. Some offer beauty so pure it feels sacred. In 1932, engineers completed what many considered impossible. They carved a road through the heart of Glacier National Park, connecting two sides of the Continental Divide. Going to the Sun Road isn't just scenic, it's one of the greatest engineering achievements in American history. "50 miles of pavement climb from Lake McDonald to Logan Pass at 6,646 feet, then descend to St. Mary Lake. The western approach gains 3,300 feet in switchbacks, so tight that vehicles over 21 feet long are banned. Stone guard walls, hand-built by skilled masons, are all that prevent vehicles from plunging hundreds of feet. The road crosses landscapes that change every 1,000 feet. Lush cedar forests give way to alpine meadows. Meadows transition to rocky tundra. Snow lingers into July. Rangers don't fully open the road until snowplows can cut through drifts that reach 80 feet deep. The glaciologists monitoring the park mention sobering trends. In 1850, Glacier National Park held about 150 glaciers. Today, around 26 remain active. Climate models predict they could vanish within decades. The park is literally melting away, the ice that carved these valleys disappearing year by year. But going to the sun delivers moments of transcendence. At Logan Pass, alpine meadows explode with wildflowers each July. Mountain goats lounge on snowfields. The Garden Wall, a knife-edge ridge, extends for miles. Grinnell Glacier, still clinging to life, glows blue-white against ancient rock. Experienced travelers visit at dawn or dusk. Midday brings bumper-to-bumper traffic, but in early morning light, with marmots whistling from rocks and the Continental Divide rising above, the road becomes something sacred, a path through paradise that might not exist for future generations. Yet even Glacier's drama pales beside coastal cliffs where mountains plunge straight into the Pacific. California's Highway 1 runs 650 miles along the Pacific coast, but one section stands apart from all others. The 90 miles through Big Sur are not just scenic, they're geologically active, constantly changing, perpetually trying to reclaim the road that humans carved into its cliffs. The statistics are staggering. Cliffs drop 1,000 feet straight to the ocean. The road clings to rock faces so unstable that engineers expect failures. Landslides close sections regularly, sometimes for years. In 2017, a massive slide at Mud Creek buried the highway under 40 feet of debris. Repairs took over a year. Geologists explain that Big Sur is tectonically active. The Pacific Plate grinds against the North American Plate. Earthquakes shake foundations. Winter storms deliver 100 inches of rain. Unstable cliffs, saturated with water, simply collapse. But Big Sur's combination of accessibility and drama makes it unique among America's remote drives. You can experience profound wilderness while driving a regular sedan. Sea otters float in kelp forests below. California condors, brought back from near extinction, soar on thermals. Gray whales migrate past during winter months. Artists and spiritual seekers have gravitated here for generations. Henry Miller lived in Big Sur for 18 years. The Esalen Institute, pioneering human potential movement, perches on cliffs above hot springs. There's something about this edge, this meeting of land and sea, that calls to those seeking transformation. The Big Sur experience changes with weather. Morning fog transforms the coast into mystery. Afternoon wind creates whitecaps far below. Sunset paints cliffs gold and crimson. Storm waves explode against rocks with primordial fury. From the Pacific's edge to the continent's forgotten interior, where grasslands stretch beyond imagination, most Americans don't know the Sandhills exist. This 19,000 square mile region of north-central Nebraska is the largest grass-stabilized dune system in the Western Hemisphere, and cutting through its heart, the Sandhills Journey Scenic Byway offers 272 miles of something increasingly rare: emptiness. The landscape defies expectations. These aren't flat prairies, they're ancient dunes, created when glaciers retreated 10,000 years ago. Native grasses stabilized them, creating rolling hills that flow like frozen waves. The ecosystem is so fragile that plowing would destroy it. So the Sandhills remain ranch country, some of the last large-scale open range in America. Travelers report a profound psychological effect. After hours of driving through grass and sky, with perhaps one vehicle per hour passing the opposite direction, modern life seems to evaporate. Time slows. The rhythm of road and hill becomes hypnotic. Wildlife biologists treasure the Sandhills. Sharp-tailed grouse perform elaborate mating dances each spring. 500,000 sandhill cranes stop here during migration, transforming the Platte River into one of Earth's great wildlife spectacles. Prairie chickens boom from lek sites. Badgers, coyotes, and swift foxes hunt among the grass. The ranching culture here feels frozen in time. Fourth and fifth generation families work the same land. Tiny towns appear every 40 miles, populations measured in dozens. The values are traditional, the pace unhurried, the communities tight-knit. Astronomy enthusiasts seek out the Sandhills for another reason: darkness. With almost no light pollution, the Milky Way blazes overhead. On moonless nights, you can see Jupiter's moons with binoculars, satellites crossing, meteors streaking. The Sandhills teach something essential about America. Emptiness isn't absence, it's presence of something we've almost lost: space, silence, the long view. But our final destination takes remoteness to its absolute extreme, where America nearly touches another continent. At Alaska's eastern border, where America nearly touches Russia, a road exists that represents the ultimate in remote driving. The top of the World Highway connects Dawson City, Yukon to the Alaska Highway. For 127 miles from Dawson to the border, it runs along mountain ridges at elevations reaching 4,700 feet. Most of it is unpaved. All of it is spectacular. The highway earned its name honestly. It stays on ridgetops, offering 360-degree views of wilderness stretching to every horizon. No trees obstruct the view. Above tree line, only tundra, rock, and sky exist. On clear days, visibility exceeds 100 miles. Mountains fold into mountains, fold into mountains, waves of stone extending beyond comprehension. The route follows gold rush history. Dawson City, at the highway's northern end, was the heart of the 1898 Klondike Gold Rush. 40,000 prospectors poured through here chasing dreams. Most found nothing. The highway passes abandoned mines, collapsed cabins, rusting equipment from that desperate era. Modern travel requires preparation echoing those gold rush challenges. The highway is only open mid-May to mid-September. No services exist for 100 miles in either direction. The border crossing has limited hours. Cell service is non-existent. If something goes wrong, help is measured in hours, not minutes. But the rewards match the challenges. Arctic ground squirrels whistle from rocks. Caribou appear as dots on distant ridges. Golden eagles soar on thermals. The midnight sun in June creates landscapes bathed in endless golden light. Travelers who complete the top of the world describe profound transformation. There's something about being this far from civilization, this high above the world, surrounded by wilderness in every direction, that strips away the non-essential. You remember what actually matters. The top of the world doesn't just test your driving skills or vehicle. It tests your soul and rewards it with vistas that remind you how big the world is, how small we are, and how precious these wild places remain. 12 roads, 12 journeys into America's last wild places, from Death Valley's scorching floor to alpine passes touching clouds, from volcanic rock still warm from Earth's heart to Arctic tundra where permafrost holds bones of Ice Age giants. But these roads offer more than scenery. They offer something our hyper-connected world increasingly lacks: silence, solitude, self-reliance, the experience of being genuinely alone with landscape and sky. Researchers studying human well-being discovered something remarkable: time in wilderness, genuine wilderness where human development vanishes, changes us psychologically. Stress hormones decrease, creativity increases, perspective shifts. We remember we're part of something larger than our daily concerns. These remote drives demand respect. They require preparation. They test vehicles and spirits. Some are dangerous, all are challenging, but they reward those willing to venture beyond the crowded overlooks with experiences that stay with you forever. The Dalton Highway teaches that nature's power dwarfs our machines. El Camino del Diablo reminds us that wilderness can kill. Going to the sun shows us beauty so profound it aches. The top of the world reveals how small we are in the grand scheme. America's remote scenic drives are disappearing. Climate change closes some. Budget cuts eliminate maintenance. Crowds discover former secrets. The window to experience these roads in their wild state is closing. But today, right now, they still exist. Hundreds of miles of pavement and gravel cutting through country where humans are visitors, not residents. Where cell phones become paperweights. Where the only soundtrack is wind, engine, and your own thoughts. The question we opened with asked what lies beyond the crowded national parks. Now you know, it's not just scenery, it's transformation, the chance to drive through landscapes that remind us of something essential, that wilderness still exists, that silence has value, that some places on Earth remain untamed. The road is calling, the wilderness waits. The question is, are you ready to answer?